welcome to another episode of Fire Up. Are we fired up or what, guys?
I'm fired up.
As always.
JD? He's stuck. He's
We are
frozen.
fired up.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I shouldn't be. We're good. We're here.
Okay.
It did get a little weird. It got a little weird, which this episode probably is going to get a little weird. So buckle up for Fire Up. Let's get it.
Let's. JD, where should we start tonight? Where do you want to start?
Hey, well, first, I'll tell you what. Let's start by introducing ourselves. I'm the Southern Fried Gentleman of Southern Fried Sports. Let's start off with Samir. Quickly, go ahead and tell everybody where to follow you on X real quick, Bubba.
I'm Samir. I am a contributing writer for Sideline Sports. I've been writing for them since about last November. You can find me every Thursday evening on Fire Up. You can also find me on X at ATL_Samir2401. I post some of my articles there. I post some Atlanta sports content there related to the Hawks, Falcons, and the Braves. So that's where you can find me.
Yep, y'all go do that. Y'all go find him. Jeremy, introduce your folks.
Well, you can find me right here on the South Florida Tribune, not only on the YouTube channel for Fire Up, you can also find me on the website under the Motor City Tribune heading, where my articles will be coming up good. But at the same time, you can find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I actually simulcast this into as well.
Beautiful, beautiful. Candy, ma'am. Let's do you, and then we're gonna start with the NASCAR driver, and we're gonna ask everyone what is their most embarrassing sports moment. It can be for themselves or a player or whatever. We will play a clip of this video in just a moment that I'm getting it loaded up now. But Candy, go ahead, introduce yourself. And hey, if you want to go ahead and plug, I don't know, the Motor City Mad Mouth, we might as well do that, right?
Gotta do it. Well, if you guys don't all know, my name is Candy. I'm a website developer. I'm the producer of this show and many other shows. What don't I do? I'm the lady behind the camera. If you don't know, we cover like the Miami Hurricanes full time. We cover the Miami Marlins at times, FAU Owls football, some basketball. We've done NFL, but the other thing, my husband wrote a book. Yes, Lessons from the Microphone, Tuning into the Enduring Wisdom of Visionary Leaders. It is available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on the website that I designed and that I monitor and put up and do everything. And that is www.southfloridatribune.com. Okay, Mr. JD, let's see. Oh, here we go.
All righty. There you have it. That is part of what we are going to talk about right now. So, yep. Kane, Cyberuski, Joshua, all of you guys over here in the chat that are blowing it up right now, man, we appreciate it. Of course, we've got Ken Ballarich.
That's my dad. Smoking dad.
My dad is out there listening. I can promise you that. He's not advanced enough to comment, but he's out there listening. And y'all, like I said, I've got an embarrassing story. I got hit in the head with a pop-up. I might twist the story for a little bit, just a little bit, but it's an embarrassing moment. So I'm ninth grade. I'm practicing with the varsity team, playing outfield, and it was like really windy this particular day. We're playing, and honestly, I can't stretch the details. I was gonna say it was in a game, but it's not. It wasn't. It was practice. We're talking about practice, y'all. So I'm out there in the outfield though. Really windy day. we're not using baseballs because the coach doesn't want to get all the baseballs soaking wet. So we're using batting cage balls. And I don't know if you know this or not. Yeah, they got some dimples. They're not like a baseball.
Right.
That son of a gun still hurts when it hits you on the top of the head, though. Let me tell you that right now.
I actually think they hit a little harder than a regular baseball.
I caught one right here. Square on the noggin. Yep.
You got goose egg.
I'm out there. I'm practicing with the varsity, man. Like, I'm a 9th grader. Like, man, I'm feel good about myself. I shouldn't be there. And I go out there and I have the most embarrassing moment ever. Like, I went from being on top of the world to being embarrassed, knocked down. Everybody, of course, saw it. So it was the laughing stock for the next few weeks. And so all of that said, Samir and Jeremy and Candy, if you could, Miss Candy, go ahead and present that screen I have. And let's show the NASCAR driver, Connor Zilich. Most embarrassing moment ever. He just went from having a very drama-filled race to winning the race and then having this happen.
Career wins. Let's go down to Mobile One Victory
I
Lane.
saw this the other day. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Fell. 7.
Wow. So I've spoken enough. I've told you my embarrassing story. Of course, we'll have comments coming up, but Jeremy, Samir, Candy, I turn it over to you guys. Let's go.
Oh, so mine was way younger. It was my very first Little League game playing. I can't even remember if it was actually Little League. I was like 8 or 9 years old. But I'm standing on the base. It's just before the game starts. I hear the ump say play ball, but I also hear my mom say, smile for the camera. So I turn to the bleachers. The pitch goes. I hear the crack of the bat, and I'm playing the hot corner, and I catch it with the nether region.
Man. Oh. That's tough. That's tough. Samir, do you have any embarrassing sports stories?
Yeah, so what I remember, one that comes to mind is I ran cross country when I was in high school, and it was like one of my first meets. So I think for that specific meet, you had to go around the campus twice. It was a pretty decent sized campus from what I remember. And then I was about almost or a little over halfway done with the first lap. And I don't know like what made me forget that you had to go around twice. I kind of slowed down a little bit. And then I'm thinking, I'm in a good place. I'm going to finish on a pretty good time, which was a lot faster than I usually finished when I was practicing. And then I remembered, like, I see all these people pass me. It's like, oh, I'm not lapping them. I think they passed me. I got to go around again. So that's probably the moment that comes to mind.
My dad put up his embarrassing moment in there.
I know. I was just reading the comments. I was just reading them, Jeremy. So yes, Candy, if we could. Let's start. We'll start with Ken.
Where?
Played second base.
Here.
Yeah. So he played second base occasionally. He would miss the bag after taking the throw on a bunt. In practice, I was focused on the bag too much, planting my foot, and turned to catch the ball, and it hit me square between the eyes. Family show, people. Eyes up here. Y'all thought I was going to say something dirty, didn't you? That's where I thought the story was going. That's funny, though, man. Hey, and then we get to laugh about it now, but
It was scary. I was there at that practice when my dad got knocked out.
Right. And so back to the actual interaction of the video, though, you guys, too. Connor Zillich here, man, like he accidentally wrecked the guy that was probably going to beat him. Like they were racing hard. I can't blame Connor for the wreck. Shane Van Gisbergen, though, he was out of the race after that. And I mean, Connor, he got knocked back to like 12th on a couple of restarts. Still had the second best car. He wrecked the first best car, but he ended up winning the race. All right. And so, Candy, here, let's show it one more time. Let's diagnose this video real quick if we could. So, I can't believe
Career wins. Let's go
that
down
he
to
didn't
Mobile One
that he didn't break his leg. Watch his leg in
victory
this
lane,
video.
Dylan.
Oh, he went down on the cage stand.
Oh my gosh, he fell.
All right. So,
Okay, I'm trying to see if
How
that's
in the
Red
world-
Bull or if it's Wonder Bread.
how did he? Well, yeah. How did he not break his leg right there, though? That left leg that he had buried in the car, like there's a harness. I think he said it got tangled in the seat belt, but he literally went from, man, yeah, I just won a race. Like, let's go. Like, imagine winning the Super Bowl, and then the quarterback, Tom Brady, accidentally drops the Super Bowl trophy on your head. Like, that's essentially what just happened to this dude. You know what I mean? Like, he's celebrating, he won, and then you got him almost breaking his leg. You think he might be concussed, which he is. And
It
then,
ended up being a broken collarbone, right?
right, he was supposed to race the next day.
Mm-hmm.
They had to pull him out of that race. But wow, y'all, can y'all imagine? And I'm sure the drivers, they're going to make it fun for him. That's the thing about embarrassing moments. People will always remember you for them.
Yep.
So now hey, there's a rule now. NASCAR implemented. You can't stand on your car anymore. You can't stand on your car.
They're actually re-implementing it because there for a while, because of the shape of the cars and how thin they made the skins to make them lighter so they could go faster when they were trying to break the super speedway record. They used to have it where you couldn't stand on the car then because it was so flimsy, it would take it out of shape. And when they put the form on it, it would be out of shape and you'd lose your win if your car did not fit the mold because they had a strict mold for the aerodynamics of the car.
Right. And Kane, we've got his comment that was right after Jeremy's dad. We'll get to that one too. But no, there was one where he said, when I got hit in the head, that's the day I became a Gamecock fan. Unfortunately, no, I was a Gamecock fan prior. But if anything, I guess that would have been a good excuse to swap to being a Clemson Tiger fan.
Required doors next.
Let's see what else we got over here, man. These guys are killing it this evening. Appreciate everybody. Scott wrote a slapper. That's hilarious. We had Sharon. She also was like, oh, dang. I don't know what she was referring to, but
I think the video.
maybe it was. And then, good gracious.
We've got a lot of comments.
Or it could have been about when I took a baseball to the nether region.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure we've all done that for sure.
Yeah, but in your very first game, they say play ball. You hear smile for the camera, so you look at your mom.
And Sharon said that's the video.
And bang, bang. Yeah, the video. Okay, thank you, Sharon. Glad to know you're still listening. Appreciate all of y'all listening. Y'all are awesome.
Yeah, Josh and Cyberuski had an embarrassing moment too, but I don't know.
I'm looking.
It was above my head.
Josh was. Oh, he said he never played baseball again. Let's see. Let me find it.
It's right here.
Wow.
And then Cyberisky talked about getting so hard in hockey, he did the same thing to himself. There it is.
Oh goodness, excuse me. Sorry if I just coughed on the microphone. I tried to mute it. My bad, y'all. Oh man, let's see. Cyber playing hockey.
Cyberuski,
Yeah.
up. Stop that.
Oh my, poor Josh.
Joshua said he never played baseball again.
Yep.
Mhm.
Good Lord. Yeah, we had a ton of comments. That was way back. We got Mark says, "What's up? Let's go. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?" Who said Kane, JV football game? We ran through the banner and I tripped and brought down half of the team. I didn't sell it, just got out, kept running, but I was so embarrassed. Oh my God, that's a tough. Can y'all imagine that one? Tripping up the team, running. Or what about the
Run
one?
everybody too.
Have y'all seen the banners too, where people like they don't even get to run through them? Like it just.
I think
How
the most
about the one
embarrassing.
where they knocked the cheerleaders down and it was like one of those cascading, so a whole bunch of cheerleaders fell down because they ran into one of them?
Right.
And then let's not forget we have the most famous quarterback run of all time,
Butt
Daniel
fumble.
Jones.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones'
Whoa.
rookie year when he tripped over his own 2 damn feet 85 yards down the field.
Oh no,
And
I think the butt fumble's more embarrassing than that.
Oh yeah,
I
the
think
butt fumble. That's a good one.
That's probably the most embarrassing play in NFL history. Like you like running right into the backside of your own
God.
center.
Gosh, that's horrible.
Oh man, Josh.
Lord mercy.
Really?
Oh, so Candy, we haven't heard yours, and then we've got to steer to other topics. So, what was your most embarrassing moment?
One of my most embarrassing moments happened when I was in 6th grade gym class. It was one of those where we were inside, we were rope climbing. And so I had climbed all the way to the top and I started coming down and I was starting to come down too fast and I was getting rope burn. So what do? You let go. So down to the floor I fell and I sprained an ankle. Yep. On crutches for a couple weeks after
How
that.
high were you when you fell? How high do you think you were when you fell?
I would say
Candy?
probably 30 feet, maybe. I mean, because it was in the gym. I mean, it was, it wasn't a short rope. Like it was, and I was part of the way down.
There was padding, right, though.
I mean, there was some padding down. Yeah. So it wasn't like I was falling on a gym floor. There was a little bit there was padding underneath, but not enough that I still sprained my ankle.
30 feet, man. That's one of those things, though, you can't laugh at when you see it. Like, if you're one of the people when you see somebody fall as far as you did, no, you can't laugh at that. We can go back and make fun of it, though, 30 years later and laugh at it.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I wish it was only 30 years. Thanks, Jake.
I was just going to say, for when I was 8 years old, that was a long time ago.
Same. Birthday coming up, actually.
Yeah, I got a birthday coming up in October.
Oh,
55 on that birthday. So
my birthday
47 some years ago.
Yeah, my birthday has always fell on Labor Day weekend, so it's kind of overshadowed a bit. September 1st. Good Lord, though, we got so many comments, and we've got so much more though to talk about. Let's see, what would be a good segue off of Connor Zillich? How about, can the Brewers avoid being embarrassing in the playoffs? Can they keep up this hot streak? Candy, this is yours. Please enlighten us.
Well, I want to announce, because I don't know how many of you know this. So, Burgers for the Brewers. So, George Webb Restaurants announced that next Wednesday, August 20th, is Free Burger Day across Milwaukee, thanks to the Brewers and their 12-game winning streak. From 2 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Wednesday. Fans can show up at any of their chain's 23 locations and claim their free burger. Plan to be in Chicago for the Brewer Cubs finale and prefer a rain check. Vouchers will be available starting this Friday. Just want you to know, our founder made the bold prediction of 12 games in a row back in the 1940s, and it has only been realized 3 times in their company's history, said current Ryan Stram, current George Webb vice president, when he made the announcement. We couldn't be happier. So the last time the Brewers won 12 straight was back in 2018. The restaurant gave away 90,000 free burgers and 100,000 redeemable vouchers. In 1987, the first year of the promotion, they handed out 168,000 free burgers. So if anybody wants a free George Webb burger next week, Wednesday, because the Brewers won 12 in a row, they are one of the hottest teams. Like, they have won, I don't remember how many series it is in a row. It's kind of crazy.
They would be with 12 wins. They would be at least 4 series, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Plus,
3 or 4.
Plus, they could have won more series before that. I'm telling you.
I think I saw it somewhere. Correct me if I'm wrong, but they're like 24-4 over the last month or something like that.
Yep, they're doing it.
And I think the unique part about it is, number one, they're doing it without their star player, Jackson Churio, and they don't. And another part of it is extension of that, they're not really doing it with any household names,
except Christian Yelich, say.
Yeah, like and
I
the
had
pitching
forgotten
staff's
about
really
him.
good. Pitching staff's been really good. Jose Quintana was a good pickup they got from the Mets last year. They have Priester. They did get Brandon Woodruff back, and apparently he's pitched really well for them.
Mm-hmm.
I know he was a Cy Young candidate a couple years ago. And then their lineup, they have Churio, but he's been out for a little bit. Christian Yelich, I feel like he had a couple of down years, but he's had a couple of really good years as of lately. Sal Frelick is hitting almost 300, and they have William Contreras. Even though he's having a down year, he's still putting up solid numbers. So, of course, as we say here a lot in this town with our baseball team, when we're in contention, the regular season really don't mean anything if you can't win in the playoffs. And the Brewers haven't won a postseason series since, I believe, 2018. So we'll see what happens.
That's true, but I can also say that they have they're one of the smallest markets. They have, their payroll is like not even half the size of the Yankees, the Mets, the Dodgers, or any of them. Like you said, there's no household names, and yet they're doing it and they're winning. And they might not have won a lot of playoff games, but they're consistently getting to the playoffs more than a lot of other teams in the last decade or so. One thing I do want to add, Andrew Vaughn was one of their pickups in the trade deadline. He played 48 games with the White Sox this year. His batting average was 189. He had 5 home runs in those 48 games and 19 ribbies. Since he's joined the Brewers, he's played 27 games. His batting average is at 347 with the Brewers. He's had 8 home runs and 32 ribbies. So that's new team, new perspective. What I keep hearing is that this team they're all having fun. They're playing loose, they're playing for each other, and they were really enjoying their time. And they're enjoying playing for Pat Murphy. And the other one little comment I would say is a lot of them are inspired, and everybody's saying that they're playing for Bob Uecker. Now, we all know that Bob Uecker passed away in the off season, but they have a patch that they're wearing on their uniform for Bob Uecker. And how cool would it be for them to have success for Bob Uecker?
Jeremy, what do you got?
Well, the Brewers are one of the hottest teams in baseball. That there's no doubt about it. Like Samir said, 24-4. Well, let's not forget what has happened out there in the National League West. The San Diego Padres, who was down 9 games at the All-Star break, have came up and now have a 1-game lead. Oh no, excuse me, 2-game lead because they won today in the NL West. So they're one of the hottest teams in baseball, and some of the hottest teams in baseball that started out are faltering, and it's not, and everybody's panicking for the as far as fans, but you don't hear the panic in the coaches and the players' voices, and they're starting to make their presence known. As a remember fact, the first time I was on here, we talked about the slumping Detroit Tigers. What did they do? They went on to win 9 of the last 10. And how are they? And did they win tonight, or did they end up losing that one?
Let's see.
Who was it?
They
Tigers
are
versus
in the middle of the 10th right now. They're still tied.
3-3.
3-3. Mm-hmm.
So, so I didn't get the panic that I heard from the other fans, because if your team did that good for that long, over 100 games, and they falter for a month, even the '84 Tigers did the same thing after the All-Star break. They had almost a 20-game lead, and it got down to 5, and everybody's like, they're going to lose the division.
They could flip that switch.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so let's see the NL, and then Candy, if you could present that screen I've got up for us,
You got it.
and then we're gonna rattle through that because I'm really curious now about the 24-4. So, to what Jeremy was just talking about, the Brewers right now have built up an 8-game lead over the Cubs in the
Mhm.
NL Central. 76-44. Sorry, my eyes are bad. But anyways, to this that I brought up here. So I went back. I was trying to go back 28 days, but then I just scrolled back to the one loss that I saw. So I figured I'd start right there. So after the Brewers lost to the Marlins on Saturday, July the 5th, they won. And we will count them out together here. They won 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh no, I'm sorry. Back up. Counted the wrong team. So they were at 5. And then they lost.
They lost to the Cubs on July 30th. That's the last
Yeah.
time they lost.
Yeah, because
The last
I remember
time
the
they
Cubs were in first
lost.
place by a pretty lengthy margin, and then the Brewers just got in a hot streak. So
Yeah. And then, I was on Tuesday, July 22nd. They lost to the Mariners.
Yeah.
They lost to the Marlins the day after. But then they won. Like the Brewers, I adopted them as my team to root for. Once I realized the Braves were going to finish sucking this year.
I'll take you. You can join me.
But I
Padres
mean,
were-
that's, and then Candy, we can get rid of that schedule now. We're good. But I mean, dude, they're winning.
Right.
And to P Digit's point, he said, could it be too soon? What do y'all think about that?
Yeah, that's why I kind of like what Detroit did. They slumped and then they came back, because it looks like they're getting hotter at the right time versus staying hot. Because when you stay hot, there's eventually a letdown, and you don't want it to be in the playoffs. You'd rather have it happen somewhere towards the end of August, early September, before the playoffs start.
Yeah. I was thinking the same thing. Like, if they're gonna go on a cold streak, you'd rather have it happen sometime, as Jeremy said, late August, early September. But the key to that cold streak is that when you go on that cold streak, you want to make a quick recovery and bounce back. Like, there are a lot of times where we see a team that is one of the best in baseball, or that's hot all year, and then it gets to late August, early September. Well, also health is another factor. You want to make sure your team, especially your starting pitching, is healthy later on in the year. Like, I remember when we had our run in 21, we had a lot of injuries that year, especially to our pitching staff, but we started getting guys back later on in the year. And I think that's what really helped us go on that run. And as opposed to 2 years later, when we had the best record in baseball, our offense was ridiculous. We had some injuries to our pitching staff later on in the year towards the postseason. And I think that really hurt us in Philadelphia. So you want to make sure you're hot. Well, you're healthy first off, but then you also want to be hot. And when you go on that cold streak, you want to make sure that you are able to recover. For example, speaking of a team that has been unable to recover from their cold streak, there's a team here in the NL East, the New York Mets. They had a lead about 4.5 games at one point in the division. Since July 25th, they are 3-13, and they just lost again tonight. So, I mean, that's kind of in par of what they do. So really no surprise there. But we'll see what happens. And they're only half a game ahead of the Reds for that last spot. So they went from leading the NL East. I think at one point they were the number 1 seed in the National League. It's now only leading that last seed by half a game. And anyone who's followed the Mets for a while knows that that's not really a unknown occurrence. They're known to kind of start off hot in the summer and then fall apart later on in the season. So we'll see what happens there.
He says, my Mets are done. She says, my Mets are done.
Mm-hmm.
But
P Digits. Oh, that's my Brewers. Come on now. Sorry.
I love what the MLB did with adding. I forget completely what I was about to say there for a minute because of the comments that got me. P Digits, yeah, the boo the Brewers. But the extra playoff spot. There we go. That's what I was thinking. I am so glad they did that because the Mets, the Phillies, the Brewers, the Cubs. I wish I could throw the Braves in that, but I can't. But then you've got the Giants, the Dodgers, and the Padres. Who makes it into the playoffs is going to be pretty daggum interesting, I think, when it comes down to it.
Yeah, because you have the Mets who are the 6th seed. The Padres are now in first place, I think, as you mentioned earlier, JD. Cubs are 4th. Dodgers are 5th. And again, the Mets are in that 6th spot. And then, of course, the Reds are only a game and a half out. St. Louis is only 3.5 out. Then you have Arizona and the Giants who are 5 out. The Marlins are 6 out, and the Braves are 11 out. So we'll see. Let's see what happens there.
I've got the Braves at 16 back, but yeah, I've got them of the East.
Yeah,
that way.
You're 11 out of the wild card.
11 out of the wild card. Right.
So we'll see. Are the Mets going to Met again? I guess time will tell. I know that their lineup has gotten cold, and their pitching staff is a mess.
And a lot of the fans regret that huge Soto contract.
I mean,
Jeremy, you got any takes on that?
Yeah, that Soto contract is nowhere near looking as good as everybody thought it was going to do because he looks like a shell of what he was last year. The Tigers, like I said earlier, they're doing things right, and they still have a 6-game lead at this point. They're not in danger. Now, the San Diego Padres that I talked about with that 1 or 2 game lead, they actually play the LA Dodgers in a 3-game series starting tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
And if the Dodgers don't win that series, they're going to fall so far behind, they'll be in danger of not being the top seed.
Yeah, I think the Dodgers, they can almost kiss the 1 seed goodbye already.
Yeah,
right.
Honestly, it's gone. Now it's just a matter of can they rebound and win the West. I don't know what's going on with Mookie this year, but he's cold. I know Freddie's cooled off since the All-Star break.
I usually
you heard the news about Ohtani recently.
No, just bad news.
Yeah.
How
Oh,
he's getting
well,
sued.
yeah. I'm sure Major League Baseball brushed that under the rug again, just like they did the gambling scandal.
Yeah, they might. But yeah, he's getting sued apparently for bullying people about real estate in Hawaii.
Like apparently, yes, he like I guess I don't know. He sabotaged like a over almost $250 million real estate project, something crazy.
I'm glad you like it, Kane. Yeah, that's my signed Amon Ra. That's my Amon Ra bobblehead that I got from a game in 2022. Then I got the Lions alternate helmet from a few years ago. And this was made by a custom guy. This is Little Smoke and Jeremy B.
Sharon said, "Be careful. That is her Mets you're talking about, buddy. Hey, buddy, don't be talking about my Mets." I don't know what Sharon sounds like, but that was my Sharon impression. Hope you enjoyed it.
That's my
Sounded
aunt. She
almost
just jumped on. So
She says, "Thumbs down to Soto." Thumbs down. Something blowing up over there. Ding, ding, ding. We're blowing up on Fire Up. Man, we've had a ton of comments tonight, man. I'm excited. We have had a great show. So to wrap up the MLB talk real quick, you have the Blue Jays, 71 wins, leading the AL East by 5 games over the Red Sox. You've got the Detroit Tigers that Jeremy mentioned, 6 games up on the Guardians. AL West, you have the Astros, shocker, leading the Mariners by 1.5 game. Am I the only one that's kind of a Mariners fan? I like the Mariners a little bit. I'll be honest.
I like it better
it'd
than
be
the
nice to see a different team in the mix.
Yeah, and well, me and it's nostalgic because I like the Mariners when Randy Johnson and Ken Griffey were there. When I was a little kid playing baseball, they were the 2 most popular players.
And then Ichiro.
Oh,
yeah,
Ichiro.
They
So
had
great.
A-Rod
King
for a
Felix.
Did y'all see what Ichiro did to the Marlins at his Hall of Fame speech?
I saw that. Yeah.
It was hilarious. That the Marlins texted him, and he apparently had no idea who that baseball team was. And I'm sure he was joking, but that was before the interleague was a big deal. So maybe he wasn't. Maybe he had never played the Mariners. I don't know. But that was funny.
I'm going to give you a quick score update. Right now, it's still the top of the 11th, but the Tigers did take the lead. They're up 4-3 now. So 1 out, top of 11 against the Twins.
Nice.
There you go. And then I was going to wrap it up by giving the NL divisions. So you've got the Phillies, they're leading the Mets by 5 games. Sharon's Mets. Don't forget that. Sharon's Mets. NL Central, Brewers, as I mentioned, 8 games up on the Cubs. The Reds, 13 games back. The Reds, though, shoot, they might be vying for a freaking wild card. Maybe. And then you got the West, the Padres, leading the Dodgers by 1 game, neither of which have 70 wins. When you tell me the Blue Jays have 70 wins, I would fully expect the Yankees and the Padres and the Dodgers to all have 70 wins.
Yep.
Like, that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's going to tie a nice little bow. And I'm a poet and I didn't know it. Y'all stay tuned. And I can't rhyme anymore, but that's all right. So, Candy.
Yes.
Is it time to talk about athletes and gambling again, I guess?
Yeah, let's go there. Let's go there. I mean, because the athletes are going there. We might as well go there and start talking about them.
Yeah, we'll dip our toe into it, I guess.
Yes, get our feet wet.
For our wallet.
So, Jeremy and Samir, have you guys heard anything about I don't know, a particular quarterback in the SEC and
Yeah.
the allegations.
Yep. Yeah, I have heard about it. Um, I know the allegations are from 2022. He's 21 now, so I'm not quite sure if he was still in high school then, or if he was maybe a freshman in college. But apparently, I guess the NCAA's rule is that they're not allowed to bet on any sports. Um, I just know that I know how the NFL would handle it. It would be a lengthy suspension and a fine. But I think this is the first instance as of note that I know of it being in the NCAA. So he said the other day that he kind of expects this to blow over. He denied the allegations, so we'll see what happens.
Right. Well, and you mentioned all the beautiful things. So, Candy, if you may present. Thank you. How this is the main underlying question that I wanted to ask everybody here. This should be another very interactive topic. Would you be willing to show me the last 5 descriptions on your Venmo account? Because that is essentially what's happened with John Mateer. He had these Venmo descriptions that were unearthed from, as you can see, 2022, I believe. Yeah. And it says sports gambling, UCLA versus USC. And then again, under that, it says sports gambling. And then there was also a couple of there's actually 4 that all associate with sports gambling. And that's my question, though. Hey, anybody in the chat? Because you want to know what I do when I send somebody money? I don't never put the reason don't. I don't know.
Right.
I send it
Not
right to
never.
family.
I don't care. I don't care if I'm buying a couch.
Yeah.
Don't
So
nobody.
I
Don't
just
nobody
looked.
need to know that.
Yeah. So I just looked. Apparently, he was a freshman in college then, and when he was making those transactions. So my thing is like, like my guess is like you probably know that the NCAA doesn't allow players to gamble on games. So like why would you do it? And my thing is it's not really for me that he did it. It for me it's the fact that, as you mentioned, he wrote the purpose of the transaction in his Venmo. Like
Right.
my thing is at least hide it. Like at least say, make
Like
it
something I
make it
said,
about
like buying a couch. Yeah,
yeah, like
buying a
you're buying a
couch.
couch or something, or you're buying a PlayStation.
Candles.
Right.
I
A
don't, yeah.
TV.
But yeah, I mean,
Or,
I guess
or,
that's just the olderness of us, right? Too, Jeremy?
or just leave the damn thing blank.
I don't put
Well, no, they've got now where you can't leave it blank, at least on
Okay.
Cash App.
Yeah, my only thing is, I'm guessing the NCAA accessed his Venmo information so like how did this come to light? Like how did
I have the
I'm trying
article
to
right
figure out.
here. It was
Like
Don
did
Mateer.
someone rat him out or
He went viral for questionable screenshot of Venmo payments to a friend on social media who shared it.
that just makes the whole thing even worse.
And the pictures initially circulated by a burner account showed Mateer sending money twice to another account with the caption "Sports Gambling." One identified was UCLA versus USC. That game that was bet on was sent days after the Trojans outlasted UCLA in a 48-45 thriller. Ironically, former Sooner star Caleb Williams was the quarterback in that game.
Yeah, now that the fact that he sent it to a friend just makes the whole thing look even worse.
Okay, well, here is my other big question, because we've seen athletes go before and have these kind of things that were found from people just scrolling back. So, like, if you're on Venmo, though, and you're scrolling back, if you look at what's highlight, like these, where he put this description and this payment, it was liked by 22 people and 25 people. Why did this one person finally share it? Because according to this, 25 and 26 other people have seen these. So why all of a sudden did this come out? Because if 25 or 26 other people have seen this, did they just not think it was a big deal? But yeah, he had 4. So, and then what's crazy is John Mateer, he puts flowers. November 14th, 2022, he buys flowers for someone. I wonder who the chick was.
Mm.
And then November 20th and 20th, he's got 2 for sports gambling. The 2 I mentioned that have 22 likes and 25 likes. And then he's got another one that says Ultra Sports Gambling FIFA World Cup. And that one even has 4 likes. So I don't understand. And what I don't understand even more is, Candy, what you just showed a moment ago. His apology, or whatever you want to call it. The allegations that I once participated in sports gambling are false. My previous Venmo descriptions did not accurately portray the transactions in question, but were instead inside jokes between me and my friends. Let me stop you right there. I do not freaking believe you. What possible inside joke could there be about you putting sports gambling into your Venmo description? I mean, is this the joke now? 3 years later? That somebody randomly finds it and smudges your name? Like, is that the joke? Like, what are you talking about, John Mateer?
And in 2022, that was when NIL first got really prominent in college, where the money actually started showing up. You started hearing the astronomical amount.
True that. And then he continues on to say, I have never bet on sports. I understand the seriousness of this matter, but recognize that taken out of context, those Venmo descriptions suggest otherwise. Well, no freaking duh. What, like, that's the whole point of what you're saying. So thanks for telling us what we already know. And then he goes on to say, I can assure my teammates, coaches, and officials at the NCAA that I have not engaged in any sports gambling.
Well, in a way, he's right. What he did was he sent the money to somebody else, and they made the bet.
Yeah, he learned after those first couple of times, probably.
Right.
He's like, dang. He's like, dang, too many people liking these.
I'm just saying, it's a slippery slope. If you're allowed to bet in the sport you play in, what's going to stop you from betting on your own team, saying that you're going to lose when you're supposed to win and shave points to not cover the bet?
I mean, yeah, it's wild. I'm still not sure that Shohei Ohtani didn't have a fall guy in that interpretation.
Oh, he 100% did. The guy that went to jail is, I think it was his close friend of his, translator. That was the fall guy. And then I'm sure in this scandal, the one about the property in Hawaii, the real estate, there's going to be a fall guy in that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't disagree. I completely forgot where I was about to go with you after that, though. There was one other Shohei Ohtani thing I was going to say, but
it might come to you. It might.
It might. Who knows? I was just thinking about all the commenters we've had, and P Digits, he said night night. Appreciate you being here, P. Appreciate all of you being here. And then, yeah, just this whole John Mateer thing, guy. That's what I was going to say. Thank you very much. Chris Carter had once advised all of these people to have a fall guy. Oh, I remember that.
I remember that.
Literally at an NFL like combine like speaking event. Samir,
That
did you ever hear about that?
That was the
No,
old
I haven't
rookie
heard about that.
symposium.
Actually.
That was the old rookie symposium they would do after the draft, and everybody was
Yeah,
drafted.
talking about.
It was Chris Carter and like 5 other NFL recently retired players. And he said, if you have to have somebody bet on you because you're addicted to gambling, have a ball guy.
Yeah. He was like, man, even if you go to the club or something, whatever, blah blah. He's like, don't go by yourself. Let's see if I can find it real quick. Chris Carter.
Mhm.
Because Samir and especially Samir never seen it before. I kind of want him to see it now, honestly.
I think I might have, but play it anyway. I think I might have seen it actually.
Yeah, just to refresh you on it a little bit. Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, here we go.
Teddy's bankroll. Each one of y'all in business for yourself. This right here is Teddy Bridgewater Inc. Incorporated. That's him. Now, every dime that come into Teddy, all right, it's gonna be earned by him in this body. All right? Now I let my homeboys know. Y'all want to keep rolling like this? Then I need to know who's gonna be the fall guy, who's gonna be driving, because y'all not gonna all do the right stuff now. All right.
I remember
got
this
to teach
now.
y'all
I
how to
remember
get
this.
If you're gonna have a crew, one of them fools got to know he going to jail. We'll get him out. We'll get him out.
I remember this now.
You do?
Now, you're from Miami now, okay? Y'all take care of each other.
Let's
Now,
see how
what you
much
got a
longer
guy
it is.
that would take care of you, and that would be out a good deal. Okay, good. Go on, sit down. Go on, sit down. If you're gonna have a crew, make sure you know who's gonna be the fall guy.
All right, we'll pause it right there. But to the whole point about John Mateer gambling, you can't gamble on your own sport, man. Just don't gamble, and if you are going to, find somebody you trust and let them gamble for you. I mean, like, I just don't understand these athletes, man.
Don't use electronic
and see,
transfers.
for me here in South Carolina, like, gambling's never been a thing. Like, they got a couple of little prize picks things around here we can do now, but for the most part, I can't just go on to BetMGM and bet $100 on the Green Bay Packers to win the Super Bowl this year. Like, it's just not possible here in South Carolina.
I know here
like
in
I said,
Georgia, it's banned. It's completely illegal.
Right. But and that's what I've just learned recently, Samir. You might need to look into it too if you're interested. But there's like fantasy prize pick things that are legal that you can do in South Carolina. I don't know about Georgia, but the main stuff though, like for gambling, is definitely outlawed in South Carolina. And I'm not driving to North Carolina to place a bet. Like I'm just not that interested in sports gambling, really, when it comes down to it. Jeremy, do you dabble?
Yes, I do. I bet on the over.
You enjoy it?
Yes, I do. Every year I do the over under for all 4 teams in the division in the NFC North. I occasionally will do the prop bets of an anytime scorer, and for that reason, you will never see me draft Trevor Lawrence or Tank Bigsby in fantasy football ever again, because the end of that Chicago Bears game when they were driving and they're on the 2-yard line, Tank Bigsby is standing on the 1 and not a single guy around him. And who does he throw it to? Trevor Etienne with 4 guys and ends up with an interception. And all I needed, I had a 16-leg parlay for anytime scorers that day, 1 for every game played. And I had Tank Bigsby in the first game.
Man, that's tough. That's what I couldn't handle. I couldn't handle the tough losses.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for me, I feel like even if we were allowed to in Georgia, I just don't think it's something I would do. I'm pretty stingy. First off, second off,
Mhm.
I just don't see like the point of it. Like that's why I don't really do like any money leagues and dynasty or fantasy or anything like that. Like I play fantasy football. I'm in a couple of leagues, but I've never been the type to play for like a whole bunch like month like we're kind of like if you win the league you get like a gift card or something, but like not for like betting purposes or anything like that.
Mm.
And then I think we talked about it before, like how gambling has changed sports.
Mhm.
Like it's almost become like a fantasy football thing to where it's like, okay, like get this guy the ball. I have him on my fantasy team. Or it's like, why aren't we throwing the ball to Kyle Pitts? I drafted him again for the 5th year in a row. Why aren't we throwing him the
Right.
ball? That kind of thing. Or like,
Yeah.
I
And you,
bet the over on this guy to have 8 catches today. Or throw him the ball. Like,
mhm.
like that. That's why I just don't. I couldn't really get into it.
Right. A lot of mine, see, I didn't get into it the way you're talking about it, but I understand it because that's a lot of fans obviously feel that way. You see fans attacking players and athletes. We've talked about it before. I've
Yeah.
said it a million times. They're real people. Okay. Just because you buy a ticket doesn't give you the right to disrespect them. Same goes for if you bet $10 on them to have so many catches or whatever. You have no right to go and be crazy towards them. I'm not saying you do that, Samir. I'm just saying that's kind of where your logic, though, is taking you. Like, if you draft a player in fantasy football, you want the team to give him the touches to make sure you get your points. Like, that's the point of fantasy football. But I don't even, man, fantasy is such hard work to keep up with.
It is.
And
Yeah, like
and that's what
you got to organize your roster every day.
Mm.
Yeah.
And then that's exactly, I was going to throw it to Candy, and I was going to tell her to kind of segue a little bit into fantasy football with what she said.
I was just gonna say, Samir, I see what you're. I've played fantasy football in numerous years. My family always had a rivalry fantasy football.
Oh, yeah, we have the same thing.
League.
Yeah, we have the same thing. My cousin is won 2 years in a row, so and then I've been hearing him about it ever since. So I gotta make sure I don't win this year.
Ain't it fun when they chirp like that?
Yes.
But I do think it matters in the league whether you are drafting your players or you let it auto draft because now we played. There were people in my family. There are some, my sister namely, who is not a big sports fan. She likes sports, but she's not into it as much as the rest of us. And she won because her team that she drafted, she got lucky. She got the ones that didn't get injured and did really well. But as you're saying, it's a lot of work. My dad used to do fantasy baseball, fantasy basketball, and fantasy football. And out of all of those, fantasy football is the least amount of work. Because if you think about it, baseball and basketball, they're playing games every single day.
Facts. 100% fact. No, you couldn't put a gun to my head and make me play fantasy baseball or fantasy basketball. Nope.
No. No.
And to the fantasy football point too, the best teams I've ever had, auto draft.
Yeah, but I feel like that takes the fun out of it, though.
I watched a guy last year in the league that I got into the playoffs, and he was the bottom feeder. He was at the 4th pick, and he auto drafted his team, and he ended up with 6 quarterbacks and 2 of them on the IR in the first 6 round.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, you got to watch it a little bit. But yeah, honestly, a couple of my team auto draft. Like I drafted the first few players, and so the reason I wanted to mention fantasy football is a shameless plug. So Jake Crane, if you guys know Crane and Company, there's a big sports show. Jake's cousin Shane me and him used to listen to the same radio station. So I just talked to Shane the other night for about an hour, and he's got a ton of fantasy football advice that he needs to share. He runs a league that's like a sponsorship thing or like a donation. I think it's like Paulie's Playoffs, but they all the funds and everything go to like cancer research and things like that. And so Shane, though, he and I are going to do a show next Wednesday night on Southern Fried Sports. And so, yeah, Sharon, I don't know if you're subscribed to me or not, but if you could, at Southern Fried Sports JD, same thing for everybody that's listening. Make sure to hit like, follow, share, subscribe. And Samir and Jeremy, go ahead. Y'all plug yourself again, too.
Go ahead, Samir.
Yeah, you can follow me on X. It's kind of long at ATL_Samir2401. Again, as I mentioned earlier, I post a lot of content related to the articles I write for Sideline Sports and the South Florida Tribune until Sideline's website is back up and working again, hopefully soon. And you can find me here on Thursday nights on Fire Up, and then I post a lot of content as well related to the Hawks, the Braves, and the Falcons.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Jeremy.
You can find me, as I said, on the South Florida Tribune YouTube channel every Thursday night for Fire Up with JD and Candy and Samir. You can also find my writings on the SouthFloridaTribune.com underneath the Motor City Tribune heading. You can also find me on my channel, which is Kneecap Fighting with the Motor City Lions, where I go live into Huddle Sports Network on YouTube, my channel on YouTube, and also into the Amazon and Roku Fire Stick app, the Huddle Sports Network.
Well, you all know where you can find me. I was going to say, you all know where you can find me because you find me here on South Florida Tribune YouTube channel. But I would say is if you are watching through either of the other YouTubes, if you could subscribe to all of the YouTube subscriptions that we have going right now, that would be greatly appreciated. And the other thing is share it with all your friends and family and turn on those notifications because you never know. We go live. I know on South Florida Tribune, we go live at least Monday through Thursday, at least once, sometimes twice. And I know that this weekend we're going to be releasing, Scott did a one-on-one interview with Bob Ryan from the Boston Globe, and he did that. We're going to be releasing that this weekend. We're also going to be we've been slowly releasing some of our videos from our trip. So if you want to see, we went on a cruise. We went to Amsterdam, Norway, and Iceland, and you can go and check out some of that. In case you are interested and you want to get your feet wet, maybe you want to go travel there and you want to see what it's like, go check out our YouTube as well. And of course, shameful plug, my husband wrote a book, Lessons from the Microphone. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. Okay, I'm done.
That's my favorite book. It's like
I got it. I read it.
Other than the Bible, it's the only book I have. So, Candy, I know you had one other thing you want to talk about. If you would, please present screen.
Oh, that's right. Oh, I was going to say, I don't have.
We got it.
What if you can create your own website by saying, this is what I want? With Wix, you can. First up, let's talk about AI color themes. You can get any combo.
Listen, we're not joking. This kid can really drill the ball.
Holy smokes. They got a shot.
He just kicked a 70-yard field goal. Are you kidding me?
Crazy.
I've never seen that. The NFL record. Because it's preseason. But that's a Sports Center highlight. 70 yards. I've never even seen a 70-yard field goal attempt. We'll get some NFL veterans in the booth. Have you ever seen a 70-yard attempt?
Wow.
I mean, Logan Cook knew it was good the minute he hit it.
Crazy. Cam Little. 70-yard, and it would have been a record.
70 yards.
Because it's preseason. It doesn't go in the record books. But the other impressive thing is not only his 70-yard kick, he has never missed an extra point in his life. In high school, he went 24 for 24. In college, 129 for 129. And now in his professional career, he's 35 of 35 for extra points. That's crazy.
The dude is a kicker. I mean, what can you say? He like 70 yards. That's just and the announcer, he was like, has anyone ever seen anybody even attempt this? And everybody's like, no, nobody's ever
attempting it. But I don't know. But 70, the record is like 65, right?
66.
66.
That's by Justin Tucker versus the Lions. Happened for Justin Tucker when he was with the Ravens when they beat the Lions in the last second on a field goal that never should have happened.
And then, well, you got Denver too, where they can kick the ball a super long way. I thought we were going to say it was done in Denver.
That record was 64, set by Jason Elam. It was matched by Matt Prater when he was with the Broncos. And then he did it again with the Lions while he was with the Lions after the Broncos.
I mean, yeah, 66 is getting it. 70, if it weren't a preseason game, would they have tried it though?
Probably
I
not.
his leg, knowing that what they know now, why wouldn't you?
Well, I mean, now you know, but I think before now that because then you risk a run back. No, they wouldn't. But I do feel like sometimes that kickers are definitely underappreciated. Like I feel like a lot of people see kickers like you get to play in the NFL, come out 3-4 times a game and kick a ball, but like I feel like there's a lot of pressure on you. Like if you make it, then it's like, okay, yeah, he made it. Like no one knows you. But if you miss a field goal, especially like late in a game, it's like everyone's watching you now.
What was it? Nace Ventura, Ray Finkel for Dan Marino in the Super Bowl.
Ray Finkel. And Ironhorn, because I think that's what P Digits used to say when he signed it here all the time.
Einhorn is Finkel.
Finkel and Ironhorn, yeah. Finkel and Ironhorn. Wow, I'm so shocked you just mentioned that. That's funny. And then, yeah, it's just this whole thing with kickers. Samir, you are right. They are underappreciated, undervalued, because guess what? And they don't need you until it's like 20 seconds to go, and it's like, hey,
go win the game.
Yeah, we're down 2 points, or we're tied, or we're down 3 points, and now we want you to go out there and tie the game for us, okay?
Kane said Dan Campbell loves kickers but hates punters.
Yes,
that is true.
He's right. But at the same time, I want to refute on that a little bit. If you actually look, his very first year in the league, it was 38% they went for it on fourth down. And then the next year it was 35, and then the next year it was 32. And last year it dropped to 30%. So he is starting to let.
I thought it went up, actually.
No, it went down. It went down. It's gone down every year.
Oh.
Interesting. And what I was about to say too, hey, there was a coach, y'all. I'm sure he had like viral clips. It's the coach that never punts. Like he won a bunch of state titles.
The high school coach in Texas. Yeah, I've heard about that.
And he ended up actually in my hometown where I went to high school, but he ended up there at the college, at Presbyterian College, and they tried it out there for a while. And I mean, it didn't work. It didn't work at college, but at punters and kickers are wild. And then here's the one thing. I'll go ahead and get my town kind of out of the way, Candy. I'll go ahead and throw that in there real quick.
Okay.
So today, I obviously have a lot of Clemson fans that I follow, and I'm a Gamecock fan. I follow all their media people. Like I get news coming out of Clemson, and my cousin plays football there. So I get some inside knowledge. But the whole thing on Clemson Twitter today was they have a punting competition. They've got 3 punters they're trying to decide between. And that's the biggest story coming out of Clemson football. And I'm like, this isn't even a story. This is a non-story. Your offense is going to be good enough. You're not going to need the punter very much. Like, I've already picked you to win the national championship this year, Clemson. So the fact that you're trying to decide who's the best punter out of 3 punters, man, come on, man. Give me something better than that. Give me like a cornerback battle or a linebacker battle. But no, y'all don't got none because y'all are just studded up everywhere, Clemson. And the fact that we're talking about 3 punters 13 days before football is ridiculous. So, Clemson football, just pick a punter. He ain't going to punt that much, so it does not matter. But I do love punters and kickers to tie that whole conversation in a bow. Samir, Jeremy, you guys got anything?
On that topic, not really.
I'm not an ACC fan, so I'll keep my mouth shut.
Good deal, good deal.
I'm just waiting for football season to really take on its wings, get rid of this preseason, get done with it, start the games now. End of the month, I know I'm looking forward to going to the Miami Notre Dame game. That should be really interesting, and yeah, I'm just looking forward to football.
We all are. That's kind of what we were waiting on as we were talking there a little bit, and we all went silent for a minute. We're just luckily for me, I've got high school football jamborees happening around my area tomorrow. So I'm getting a little was jamborees, and then week 1 or week 0 or whatever they call it is next week.
Yeah, here
jamborees.
Yeah, here I think our version of the jamboree is the Dave Hunter Classic, Corky Kell Dave Hunter Classic. I was an intern for a local media outlet that covers a lot of high school ball last year in Atlanta. So I got to cover the Dave Hunter Classic at Mercedes-Benz Stadium, which was kind of cool. Got to go on the field, all that.
Nice.
Sounds cool.
I love high school football. I cover it on Southern Fried Sports. My little cousin that's at Clemson, he played at Clinton. My hometown team that I just mentioned were Presbyterian colleges. Clinton won the state championship last year in football. I was the fan when I was there. Like, I was the one. I had my air horn. We were chanting. We were doing the defense. Like, I was like the lead fan for Clinton High School football when I was in school. My mom wouldn't let me play. She wouldn't let me play football. But we're all just excited for football. Kane over here, he got in on the Clemson talk. Clemson is beating everyone, all of your favorite teams, by a lot. Even if they don't play them, they are going to beat them. And then Clemson, they're not preparing the punters. They're just giving them something to do now because punting team will be bored this season. They will be bored this season. I said the same thing, Kane. And if not, they'll do that weird thing where the quarterback punts the ball.
Oh, the booch punt?
Yeah, Clemson, they're notorious for that. And then Austin, appreciate you, Austin.
JD, is that kind of like last game? I think it was yesterday, the day before, the Brewers were beating the other team so bad that in the 9th inning they threw in a position player to pitch to them, and they were hitting the bejeebers out of the ball, kind of like that, right?
No, not really. Not with a quarterback punting. So, in high school, they're forced to do it. because there's only so many athletes on the team and not a lot of them can kick. So a lot of times in high school, the quarterback is the punter. So with I think Cade had punting experience. And so what they've done though is if they get to like 4th down and 3 on the opponent's side of the field, they'll go for it on 4th down, leave Cade in, and he's literally, and Trevor Lawrence did it too. Trevor Lawrence did it a few times. But yeah, they just snap the ball to the quarterback, and if he doesn't see anything, he just punts the ball. I mean, why not?
Yep.
Why not? I mean, shoot. He can get it down there 30, 35 yards. And if you're on the 40-yard line, it's actually really smart if you think about it. Yeah,
Okay.
Kane, he knows the play. It's the pass punt option, the PPO. It just matters on which P you put first in the PP. Family show. Isaac here.
Yeah.
So, Candy, I mean, I think we about wrapped it up on my end. What you got?
We were going to talk. Anybody else want to do my town?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, I'll do my town. So outside of the Trae Young news I mentioned last week, things on the Hawks side are pretty quiet. We're kind of in the dead period for the NBA offseason. The Braves did take 2 or 3 from the Marlins this past weekend, then went to Queens, took 2 or 3 from the Mets. It wasn't looking good at all initially. They were down 6-0. Carlos Carrasco, who they had just picked up, had given up like 6 runs in 2 innings. They pulled him, didn't take long. And they started chipping away. Profar drove in a couple, Olsen drew a walk. Bases, next thing you know, bases are loaded. Michael Harris hits a grand slam. Braves get a 9-6 lead in 1 inning in the 4th. They win that game, and then they go ahead and win 4-3 today. Michael Harris continues to hit well since the All-Star break. Even Ozzie Albies had a home run today, then drove another run later in the game. So there's that. There was a report that came out that there's a good chance Ronald might be back in the lineup as soon as tomorrow, which I think is interesting. I know he wasn't going to want to be shut down, and the question was whether the organization would choose to do so. Falcons, they wrapped up their first preseason game against the Lions last week. Unfortunately, it ended early with
Norris.
Injury to Norris. That's his name.
Yeah, Maurice Norris.
Yeah, it looked bad initially. I didn't see it because I was flipping back and forth from the Braves game to that game, but I just see they bring the card out. When they bring the card out, which doesn't happen often, it's usually not good. But reports are that he's back at the practice facility now, doing a lot better. Apparently, he was going to fly back with the team that night, but they wanted to keep him overnight just as a precaution. They did. Candy, you mentioned position battles. We have 3 notable ones in Atlanta. We have the wide receiver depth chart. So we've got Drake, Mooney, Ray McLeod are our top 3. Looks like Casey Washington, second-year receiver, is going to be 4. And then Kadero Hodges, 5. Now 6 is going to be between Chris Blair, David Sills, and Nick Nash. Nichols, a 2-man race between D. Alford and Billy Bowman. Alford's been here for 4 years. He did allow the most touchdowns in the NFL last year, 8, including the one you all have probably seen against the Minnesota Vikings when he, in the middle of coverage, slipped, let Justin Jefferson run loose. Then you got Billy Bowman. The coaching staff has raved about him, including Raheem Morris. He's taken some snaps with the first team during training camp. So it's kind of up in the air on who's going to win that battle. Then safety next to Jesse Bates, it's between Jordan Fuller and another rookie, Xavier Watts from Notre Dame. I know Watts got off to a slow start because he had to miss some time because of an injury. If I were to guess, I would say due to the familiarity with Raheem Morris when he was with the Rams and the fact that he is a veteran, I think Jordan Fuller will start initially to kick off the season, but I think as time goes on, you're going to see Xavier Watts take that starting role. And then, of course, we had a joint practice with the Titans. The Falcons dominated day one. The Michael Penix Drake London connection looks as strong as it did at the end of last season. I think Drake London is going to go for 1,500 yards this year. That's how high I am and have been on him since we've drafted him. The defense reportedly looks more aggressive. They picked off Cam Ward a few times, and our set of young defensive linemen look promising. That's what the reports are saying. So Brandon Dorless, Arnold Ebiketie, Braylon Trice, Rook, a couple others. We have our second preseason game against the Titans again. Most notably, during our second joint practice, there was a Michael Penix and a couple of guys in the Titans had some words after he threw a touchdown pass. And then one thing led to another. One of the guys in the Titans ends up shoving Penix. He gets in the mix, and it ends up being a full-out fight. Like offense and defense. Apparently, coaches had to get in. Even Terry Fontenot had to get in and kind of cool things down. So that's it for my town.
Yeah, and that's one question that I'll save for another day. But how much longer are these joint practices going to happen? Because I saw somebody post it today on X. They were like, it's just UFC.
I think what I heard on the radio earlier today is that you only do one day, because if a team gets beat like the Titans did day one, they're going to come out with a little edge on day two. And
right.
I think and one thing leads to another.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I think I would rather them just practice alone, though, and have those fights, because I know that a lot of people that I became closest with on the field were people that I had fights and altercations with. You somehow kind of end up with this mutual respect after it. But these teams, though, the joint practices, it's just fights after fights. And then I do have to shout out, I think it's WTOS in Statesboro, Georgia. They finally had the misspell of Michael Penix.
Oh, I seen that earlier today.
They had the misspell, y'all.
Yeah, someone's getting fired.
Yeah, Jeremy. If you misspell Penix and you missed the last letter, yeah.
Nope.
And that was shown on the TV today.
Yes, it finally happened. Some of us have been waiting for it.
Right. I mean, I've been waiting on myself to say it, honestly. If I'm ever trying to say Penix, I'm
like, you worried it might slip?
Words are hard. Yeah, Freudian slip, man. I promise you I'd have one. I promise you I could have one. And so, Jeremy, we got to get your town in this. And so I think we'll just segue it right to you.
All right. So it looks like we're getting healthy at the right time. Taylor Decker's finally recovered. Terrion Arnold recovered from a mild hamstring strain. He's back practicing. Ahmad Hassanin, he went out Monday with a mild lower leg injury. I think it was a calf strain. He told all the reporters he'd be fine. He's been back to practice. And in the 11-on-11s, I do have a little report about that. The Lions held Miami in 2 hours to a score of 3 points versus the 35 they scored on offense versus their starters. So that was huge. And at one point, there was one little dust up that came out. And that was between former Lions safety, Ifeatu Melifamu, who's filling in for Javon Holland, got burnt by Jameson Williams so bad. He goes, and that's why you're not still with the team.
That's crazy. Yeah, apparently from what I heard, I know joint practices, this is one post I've seen that, some joint practices are lopsided, but apparently Miami looked so bad they made Detroit look like the '85 Bears. It was that bad, apparently.
35-3 in 2 hours. That's
Wow.
not even a length of a full football game. But the best one on the offense that day was Amon-Ra St. Brown, which that's to be expected from Detroit because he's been that ever since he's been there. As soon as he caught fire, I think it was midway through his rookie year, because he went from having 10 catches, 1 touchdown, and like 60 yards. All of a sudden, he ended the year with 90 catches and 7 or 8 touchdowns. But there was
That's
another
wild.
dust up between Dan Skipper and linebacker KJ Britt. And Jared Goff has said he's seen a light bulb go off for Isaac Tesla, who also excelled in third down and in run blocking in those drills.
Oh, that's exactly what Dan Campbell wants. He wants absolutely third down pass blocking, and he wants big physical running backs. I saw that about the Jets.
But
They're going to run a fullback.
Mm-hmm.
They love the thought of a fullback. We do too down here in Clinton, my town that I've mentioned a few times. So we're good on my town.
Oh, we actually did have to sign 2 people because we had to get rid of 2 people, and we're still using that UFL pickup. The Lions signed UFL players, offensive lineman Zach Johnson and cornerback Alan George. They also placed. I swear his mom must have been a fan of the Titanic because she named her kid DiCaprio Boodle. And that was the cornerback that we got, and the offensive lineman Keaton Sutherland all went on season-ending IR.
And Amon-Ra is quite the name too. And Kane says Amon-Ra St. Brown is him. They had to enable the Hutch rule just to give the offense a chance.
Yeah, and Hutchinson on defense had 2 sacks in that 2 hours.
Right on. Beautiful.
And the only thing I'm going to say about my town is if you didn't know, Jordan Love had surgery on his thumb. He injured it in the preseason game. They said if it would have been regular season, he would not have had the surgery, obviously. But because it was preseason, they went through it. The one thing I will say is I watched that, whatever you want to call that, play last week. They have a lot of improvement because they made a lot of mental mistakes. A lot of mental mistakes.
Was I right in what I read that during the first string that was on the field in the first half, they had 5 drops from the wide receivers again?
They had a bunch of drops. Golden was caught one of Love's. Love only I think he was 1 for 5. I think Golden was the only one that caught his. But they had a lot of not only mental mistakes like catching, but even penalties.
Mm-hmm.
So they have a lot of work, a lot of what I'm going to say is a lot of discipline to learn. Mm-hmm. And they have a couple weeks here to do it, but yeah.
That's the beauty though of the preseason. At least they get to do it in game situations.
Correct.
Like, albeit they don't count, but college doesn't get that luxury.
I mean, most teams that play their starters.
But Dan Campbell has specifically addressed the between team workout, doing the joint practices. He thinks it builds more character for the first string, seeing how nobody plays their starters for the most part. There's only like 4 teams that does it. And this gives the starters a chance to play against somebody than their own defense knows them.
Right.
Yeah, but I feel like on the flip side of that, with joint practices, it's 2-hand touch, and the rules are you can't hit the quarterback. So, but in a real game, you're not used to. Well, then you go to week 1 if you don't play in the preseason. You're not fully used to getting hit, and the offense a lot of times looks rusty.
And that's why you see only 4 teams average more than 22 points in the first week of the season.
Yep.
Mm. Well, and even then, you have teams that fight their own players for hitting the quarterback too hard. Shamar Stewart, rookie for the Bengals, apparently hit Joe Burrow too hard today, and so that caused a fight at their own practice. And so, listen, they're going to fight either way. And there are pros and cons to the joint practices. Right. I completely agree.
Yep. But I just like what Dan Campbell said about specifically for him and how he treats the joint practices. He tells them to treat it like a game. And besides, the way they treat quarterbacks nowadays, isn't it two-hand touch when you sack a quarterback anyways?
I mean, certain quarterbacks, yeah.
Yeah, not every quarterback gets every call.
Nope. With that being said, I think we've had a really great show, guys. I think we're going to go around the horn and tell everybody how they can get a hold of you, and we'll wrap this bad boy up with a bow and call it a night. So, Jeremy, how can everybody find you?
Find me here every Thursday night on the South Florida Tribune doing Fire Up with JD, Samir, and Candy. You can also find me on the SouthFloridaTribune.com underneath the Motor City Tribune heading. You can find me on my channel on YouTube and also on the Huddle Sports Network on YouTube. But my channel is Kneecap Biting with the Motor City Lions, where I talk football at least 5 days a week, sometimes 7. It really depends on how much news is going on in the off season. Then you can also find me on the Huddle Sports app on Roku and Fire.
Samir, how can we find you?
You can find me on X, as I mentioned earlier, at ATL_Samir2401. Articles, Atlanta sports content, that kind of stuff. You can also find me here Thursday night on Fire Up. And once again, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Have a good night.
JD, how can people find you?
Well said, everyone. Please go find me at Southern Fried Sports JD on YouTube, or you can find me at JDWyatt06 on X. I am just here to unify the fans, have interaction, embrace, conversate with the fans, have a great time with people like Jeremy, Samir, and Candy, and Scott, and everybody in between. So just make sure you follow us. This has been Getting Southern Fried on Fire Up, but it's really just called Fire Up. So I just add my little twist in there.
Of course, that's fine.
Scott wrote a book.
One more time. Lessons from the Microphone, tuning into the enduring wisdom of visionary leaders. It is written by my husband, Scott, the Motor City Madmouth. Morganroth talks about the media industry and how it has changed over his 40 plus years. He actually has a picture of him with the young Muhammad Ali. Yes, he interviewed young Muhammad Ali. He's interviewed Tommy Lasorda, a whole plethora of other people. Go check out the book to find out more. It's available on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Kindle, Google, and Apple Books. There's also a link on our website, www.southfloridatribune.com, where there is a plethora of great content. But if you see that red subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, click it, like us, share us, and then turn your notifications on so you're notified whenever we put something up. With that being said, I want to say thank you to everybody that's been in the comment section tonight. We've had a lot of interaction. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. With that being said, enjoy MLB, enjoy all the football that's going on. JD, what do you, last minute thoughts? Want to sign us out?
Absolutely. Y'all know what I say. Be blessed, not stressed. Just be kind to one another, dang it. And for Jeremy, Samir, Candy, and myself, this has been Fire Up on a Thursday evening. We will see y'all again soon. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.